Yeah, you mentioned that on the mental health services, I really appreciate the president's budget increasing the mental health services by $468 million. Specifically, how much will be spent with regard to the executive order on mental health services for the post one-year transition period? And then if you could elaborate a little bit on the transition period, the executive order, I would really appreciate that.
Sure, and let me just say, starting with the executive order first, that that whole plan is we're just getting some feedback and working through that from the White House, but we'll very much look forward to sharing that with you. And really, as it happened, I had my monthly breakfast with VSOs the morning that this was going to be announced. The actual date was a bit of a work in progress till about a day or two earlier. And when I shared that information, everyone was out of their seats saying, we're in, we have got to be in, because we've got people on bases, or we've got people providing services to veterans who can be part of this solution. I mean, it was really amazing, and since then they have very much been very active partners. Our plan, Congressman, is to invest $500 million over the next 2 years in implementing this executive order. Now, that includes more mental health care services. In some cases, it includes hiring more suicide prevention coordinators. It will include some investments in partnerships, and as well as our whole health initiative. I mean, what we want to have a safety net for transitioning service members for that year, because we know it's a year of higher risk. At the same time, we don't necessarily want to convey the message that by definition you're broken because you are transitioning out of military service. So the whole health model is a model that focuses on the importance of the mind-body connection, alternatives to dealing with stress and coping with life issues. And actually, the initial step for that in implementing the executive order will be a series of orientation sessions. It also includes a very strong focus on peer supports, which many veterans find to be very, very helpful. So happy to give you more details as we build that out, but we do have a very robust plan, and as soon as we're finished dealing with the feedback, we'll look forward to sharing that with you.
So veterans will be involved, the stakeholders will be involved in
Absolutely,
that as well.
and they have been phenomenal.
Okay,
And we'll be testing it at all times. I had a lovely conversation with the chairman about this, who thinks that actually this needs to start way before the time of transition. And
I agree with that.
I'm totally good with that. And I think this collaboration gives us the space to raise all those issues, but we'll look forward to sharing with you the whole plan.
Please
But
do.
I think of that year as both no wrong door, but also no wrong time.
Very good. I have one more question, Mr. Chairman. The written statement from the independent budget alleges, for Dr. Clancy again, that VA research for post-deployment mental health conditions, gender-specific care, prosthetic care, Gulf War illness, toxic exposure, telehealth, and caregiver support, quote, remain critically underfunded, according to the independent budget, underfunded by the VA. Do you agree with this statement, Doctor?
So having run a research agency, not at VA, but part of HHS for a lot of years, first of all, anyone who says we need more money for research, I'm about to say that's wonderful. That said, I recognize, particularly with the investment that we've made in the Million Veteran Program, that we're constantly looking at what is the best strategy for making those investments and how do we set priorities. I think we get a huge return on investment, both by virtue of how much we get per grant in terms of productivity, but also because of our direct proximity to the delivery system, where we can translate those findings into practice and improve care for veterans.
Thank you very much, and I'll give back the rest of my time. Thanks, Doctor.
It's the clinic.
Mr. Takano, you're now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to ask some of the VSO